Got it, man. My name's Hugo Garcia. I was actually born in Guadalajara, Mexico. Came here when I was 8 years old. Played soccer as a kid in Mexico. Was a goalkeeper. In my mind, I was great, man, but I probably could have done a little bit better. Anyhow, came to the U.S. and been here since I was 8 years old. Sports has always been a big part of my life because that's what helped me become friends and make friends. Being bilingual, it was hard to assimilate to kids here, besides cartoons and things like that. So I started playing basketball, and that's what got me into sports. It brought me together with friends. It was something that really connected me with the environment. As I got older, it became more about following my sports teams, my city's teams. I fell in love with the Sonics. Then I got into American football, so I followed the football here. The whole time, though, at home, I'm really watching Mexican soccer. I'm watching the Chivas with my dad. That's the only sport him and I ever related with. So it was something that we always watched together. He always tells me when my team is playing, and he gives me crap when my team loses, and I give him crap when his team loses. I went on a road trip to a Portland match, and it was such an experience to be able to. I had won a contest that they put out. So I got to be on a bus in a trip down to Portland, and I get there. Before I even get on the bus, they have this huge cup, and it's a trophy. And I'm like, what? And they basically start telling me about George, the Cascadia Cup. And at that time, the ECS and the Sounders had won George, and we held the cup. So I actually got to ride one of my first rides ever to an away match down to Portland, was to ride with George, and I literally got to hold the cup. I got to kiss it. I took a few photos, posted it as a selfie online. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, what? This is so cool. And you get in the bus. It's my first time interacting really with a lot of the ECS supporters. First thing I get is somebody coming up to me, giving me a beer, and saying, hey, man, you're a bus captain, man. Here you go. Let's get ready. And man, from there, it had just been a wild ride. We ended up getting a draw that game, and it started a streak for me going away that I just beat this year, by the way. So I've gone on so many games on the road to watch the Sounders tie or lose, not yet win. And finally, after 2002, so I want to say probably at least 10 plus games this year, one of the greatest games of my life. The Vancouver away, we had just gone through probably the worst summer of all time in Sounders history. I had just come back from going down to Utah for a match to watch the Sounders play in Utah. I drove down with some friends, lost. I mean, I almost didn't even want to go because I was just so like down. I was like, oh my God, that trip was so long for us to lose, and I got sick, but you know what? A buddy of mine said, let's go, man. Let's go. Personally, some other things were happening. I was like, I don't know if I really want to go. No, let's go. And it was so therapeutic to be on a trip with friends. You all come together, you get to the match, and you just have fun. You just have fun. You focus on the match. You focus on being loud, letting the team know, letting the players know you are there too, as they are. You traveled all the way up there. You're in another enemy's territory, and you're there to do your best. And it was fun, dude. It was such a fun time. We came back and we won. We actually beat them pretty convincingly. And one of the greatest goals ever, Pineda. God, I love that guy. Yes, it was such a clutch goal. Probably the best Sounder goal that he has ever had in his career. Just to put the nail in the coffin. We ended up winning, I think it was 3-1. And at the end, the supporters, the Vancouver Whitecaps had the cup from the previous year. And they literally, our ECS representatives walked over around the field to their supporter section, and they had to literally, right there at the stadium, give up the cup because we had won the Cascadia Cup by beating the other Cascadia teams, Vancouver and Portland, and getting more points than them for the season. And right there, they brought it back, and man, it was such joy to see, because that's people that you've hung out with, you've shared beers, you've shared tears, and they have the cup, they're walking it back to you. Then they hand it over to the players. And I remember at that moment, Brad Evans was one of the first ones to get it and to lift it up, to just come up towards our section. Granted, we're basically, I don't know, 60 rows up from the field, so we're not right up there close, but it feels like you're literally right here with them. And he comes up and he just lifts up the cup. He lifts it up to you. And at that moment, I remember I stepped on the seat in front of me, and I was just standing really high, and it seemed like everything else disappeared. It seemed like everybody was not there, even though everybody was yelling, screaming, yeah! But I remember it literally felt like he was giving it to me. It was like he was lifting the cup to me. He was saying, this is for you. And it literally felt like that, man, just thinking about it. I'm getting a little chills about it, because it was such a tense, you feel so part of it, like you're such a big part of it, that it just gets you. It just overwhelms you, man. It's like, yes, it's almost like you're on the field with them playing. That's how it felt, and to get that, oh man, it was so amazing. So, boom, let's go.